Hey guys, Harry here. We're back again with the final day on this garage. This is the sixth part of this bricklaying vlog. This was turned out to be like a five day garage basically, but we lost about a day with lack of lifts. So about a 4-day garage, up to wall plate, 30 course, and lintel on the front. You know what I mean, with corbels on as well. So I didn't get any footage of me building the corbels on this one. I should have done actually, because I really enjoyed the video by, I think it's Daz from Bricklaying Fundamentals. He don't really upload very frequently, but he did a really good video on corbels, and if you watch that video you get some good tips. I'd already done quite a bit of corbel work before seeing that video, and found myself doing a lot of the things he said in that video automatically, and quite, I should have made a video on it myself, because I've got a little bit of a different approach to corbels than some people. It's a little bit more of a non-precise approach. I'm a big fan of standing back and looking at it, and if it looks level, if it looks straight, then it more or less is. Sometimes you can get a bit obsessed with that level bubble on really small little sections like corbels, little builds like that. It's a detail work, but hopefully I won't be running into any of them anytime soon. So I'm recording this on the Wednesday. I've done 2 days on the new job so far. Well, a day and a half, because the first day I spent more or less half a day finding me sundries, window formers, induction, etc. I've done something that I said I wasn't going to do, and I've took over another subby's work. So basically I'm working for a subby on there, and they've had 2 or 3 subbies on that job, and a load of them have jacked. So I've took over a plot which another gang from another subby's built. It's a band lift, but they've basically just took it to Sillite, so just one course below Sillite, and that's what I've been left with. And the only reason I've took it is because he's laminated me the drawings for my fresh plot. I'll be done on this one in about 2 or 3 days, depending on how everything goes, because I expected to have another lad working with me. I expected Jamie to be with me. He's jacked. Obviously, I said last video I had another lad starting. He blobbed on me. I went 15 minutes away from where I live, further away from the job, and further away from where I live to pick him up from where. So basically I drove 15 minutes in the opposite direction from where I live to go pick him up. He didn't turn up, so I had to drive 15 minutes back to my house, and then 15 minutes at job. So where the job's 15 minutes from my house, this lad, it made it so it took 45 minutes on a morning. And this lad had contacted me 3 times before, after Jamie had started, and I said I'd I'd give him a chance. The first person I rang, he seemed keen, he literally said I'd take anything, and I said I'll give you a chance, and he's just fucking bobbed on me. 4 o'clock the same day, he texted me saying, I've only just seen your message, sorry for that this morning. And I rang him 3 times at 7 o'clock in the morning when I went to pick him up. Just baffles me, some people, you know what I mean? This baffles me. So he's gone. Basically I put application out again, so anyone who wants to work with me, who lives in the Castleford, Doncaster, Wakefield area with their own transport, or if you're using public transport to get somewhere close in Pontefract or Castleford, I'll pick you up and take you to the job. You can work with us. But yeah, that's what's happened for me this last few days. It is a bit stressful, people jacking up on you. Luckily my old man, he's back working full time now until we get someone else in. There's another lad, when I started this job on Monday, there's another lad on his own, and he's just out of his apprenticeship, and he wants to team up with a gang. The only problem is, I said, what are you looking to do? Are you just out of your time? And he said yes. And I said to him, will you take a day rate? Will you take a day rate so I can teach you properly? You can, earn a good wage every day. You'll not be on odd carrier's wage if you can lay them. But, I can't put you on a split because I'm going to have to check all your work. And he was going, I want to be on price. And I took a look at his work, and it's, he's not a full trowel. He needs a lot of work doing, and I don't really want to take that on, to be honest. It's easier to manage an odd carrier than it is you know, an apprentice who's actually thinks he's out of his time, because I know when I was out of my time, and I had, you know, 6 months experience, I'd actually already done 3 years at college before I got an apprenticeship. So, you know, someone who's 21 and out of the time, you know, it's hard to put them on price or on a split with you, because a lot of the time, you know, they're only making the money on the straight runs. You know, they don't organise anything, you're having to do everything, sort the work out, you know, manage everything, and it just sometimes isn't worth it to have someone with you, unless they'll take a day rate that you can basically get them to cover the money, and you're never sort of losing out by teaching them. Similar idea to what Collinson does, but, you know, he does it on a bigger scale. You could put him on a split to where they have to cover odd carries money, but this lad were rolling in at 9:30, 10 o'clock and that on a morning, and I'm there at 7:15, 7:30 a lot of the time, and, you know, it don't work, you know, putting someone on a split when they're not working to the same hours as you, you know what I mean? So this is why I'm happy to have anyone work with us. You just pay them a set wage every day, and then you ain't got there's no stress with having days off and stuff like that. That's my biggest tip to anyone who's going to team up with someone, who's going to, you know, I've had gangs say, oh, I've come onto this job, and there's gangs ask me, oh, do you want to team up and stuff, and, you know, I've had messages through Facebook, and the problem is, you know, they're not, people aren't at the same level as you, same speed, don't put the same hours in, don't work as hard, you know. I'm known, obviously, you've seen my videos, I spend a lot of time at work, I'm quick-ish, for, you know, not as quick as some, but I'm a quicker than most, and, you know, I just keep working, and this is why you know, finding, a lot of the time, you won't be able to find anyone with your same work ethic as you, same production, etc. So it's easier to just have labourers, like I'm going to have 2 labourers, or a full apprentice, you know what I mean? You can't really have someone who's wanting to, you know, be on price when they've only just done the 2 years. So it's a difficult one, but that's what I thought I'd talk about. When it comes to the new job, I ain't got any footage there yet. I had to clip my Headcam thing off of my GoPro because it was basically falling off anyway. So that's my second adhesive one gone. And I've got a headband to go over my helmet, and I'm going to do some Headcam with that. I'm probably going to charge the GoPro tonight. Because I've dropped on the band lift where basically the only detail of the actual house is, I've basically dropped on the most awkwardest bit of these houses, even though they're not even hard. It's got 6-7 windows in this lift. I've dropped on the lift with all the windows. So, you know, it's a bit of a shit drop. You know, I had to clean the tray. When I went up, I had to clean all their trays out because they were fucking full. So we've had that. He's agreed to sort me money out for that. So, you know, we'll see how he is. This guy we're working for. I'll see how the job goes. You know, at the moment, I'm just making a bit shy than what I earn on day work. So, you know, just earning a bit less than what I earn on day work for my first 2 days there, or day and a half. And I've been getting there probably about 8 o'clock because I've been working till like 4:30 every night. So I've been working after 8, 4:30. I'm going to start getting there early because we don't do have ready mix on the scaffold, but I need to get, I was just getting my head around the houses, and I needed management there because I had a few queries with a few things, and that's all sorted out. Basically got my head around houses now after a day and a half. That's how easy they are. There's really nothing awkward about them. They're all square, more or less. Some have a little dog leg in them. But all windows sit at the same height, which is dead easy. There's a couple of small windows that sit at a different height, but there's nothing under them. No soldiers, just a banding course that sticks out 15mm around the sill height, basically, of the upstairs windows. And there's a couple little banders stuck out, 2 brick banders stuck out on the corners. It's a van houses, so if anyone knows about it, they're the new style that are more simple. The old style used to be a right ball lake, they used to have soldiers around them and everything. But these new style, they've got a lot less detail in them. So I don't understand, when I went on the job, there's a lot of gangs complaining, they don't like the bricks, they don't like the houses, say the site's not organised, but it's only been running about 3 or 4 months, so it's not really going to be organised at that point. March, April, May, June. Yeah. So yeah, it's gaffers are older guys. They're in the 50s, I think. They look 40, 50s. So they're not a fucking idealistic fucking 20, 30-year-old who's, most of them I've come across at that age. Gaffers, they're all arseholes. They all think they're fucking mint. So I'm glad there are a couple of old boys who've got some experience in game, because they're easier to work with than these gaffers who are just fucking just younger, eager. The younger you come across, younger guys. I know, hypocrite, I'm 26 myself, but a lot of these younger guys you meet on sites, the fucking egos are massive, and it just makes them difficult to work with. But these two old guys who are on this job, I can see they're experienced, and one of them's a bit green. He said he hadn't really been on new housing for a long time, but the sound, they can easily work with them. They're happy, and the thing is, I think they've had a lot of gangs jack on that job, so they're happy that we basically stayed. I did apologise that they're only a 1-on-1, but it turns out on the job there's about another 2 or 3 1-on-1 gangs, and then a lad on his own. So basically they've had a lot of sort of slower gangs, smaller gangs, basically gangs that don't know what they're doing. So it's a bit of refreshing. It's only 15 minutes from your house. So yeah, I'll let you know when I get a new lad. I've got the application out. I'm posting the job I'm going to repost it again probably tomorrow. And then I've got to still filter through a few guys, potentials. But a lot of guys, they message me, want to start, but they don't have transport. I say if pickups if you live in near Castleford, but a lot of guys living miles away don't have transport. Why would you apply for a job without any transport to get there, or even attempt to get there on your own? I don't understand it. I used to take a bus and a train to work. I used to take 2 trains when I had my apprenticeship, because the nearest site was in Wakefield. I had to take 2 trains. I did an hour walk a day and a train to get to the site that I worked on. I did that for 3 years before I passed my test, because it took me 6 times. And it's mind-boggling these days how many time wasters there are, and people who don't want to work, and it's like a good opportunity and all. You know what I mean? You could earn, Jesus, the limits are, it depends how hard you want to work and how much time you want to work, but you work every Saturday as a bricklayer and fucking, till 5 o'clock every night, you're looking at, earning 60 plus grand a year, 70 grand, depending how fast you are. You could probably earn more depending if you're making a small percentage off gangs. If you become a subby or whatever, but that's more a business entrepreneurial side. But it's one of them things. I'll see how it goes. I'm still looking for another rod carrier. To be fair, I just want another rod carrier really. I've got my dad, but he's just not quite quick enough to, for like sort of 5 days a week, because he's gonna go back full time with me for about a month, he says, and then hopefully I'll find someone within that time frame. Then he's gonna drop back to part time, because it is time. It is strenuous trying to keep up with, especially like someone like myself, who I work quite a lot of hours. I'm getting through quite a bit of gear. I've had one of my good mates was wanted to start. They don't know CSCS cards required on this site, so that's a good sign for getting someone. So yeah, but the houses themselves dead easy. They're actually concrete bricks. They're concrete, like a concrete common with your face. If anyone's ever walled them before, the Persimmon use them, Keepmout have used them. I was walling them about 4 or 5 years ago at Keepmout, and to be quite honest, once you've got used to them, after about a couple of days, they're dead easy. They're ideal to pick and dip as well. You need your mortar quite stiff when using them. A lot of gangs, they're wary of only taking them 10 course and stuff, but obviously I'm using the big corner technique. I was building big 10 course corners with the profiles, big tail outs, and obviously add banding bricks. That's why it's ideal to have your profile there. You can stick your banders out, you know, when I'm going to show you some techniques of how you can basically then pull your banders back out, especially because we're using ready mix as well. You can easily pull your banders back out. You don't have to leave the brick out like some gangs do, and still have a nice bond on your corner while getting your banding course in. So next lift you can either hook your profiles on, or you can build a little, you know, 6 or 8 course corner, depending on how high it is to square to pan. So yeah, I'll probably be the second gang on there to get one to roof, because there's another gang next to me who recognised me. You know, shout out to Saim. You know, he was completely fucking gobsmacked, to be honest, that anyone noticed me. So he recognised me because of my gloves, out of anything. So yeah, shout out to him and his mates. I don't know his other mates, his gang's name, but you know, friendly guys. To be fair, everyone were friendly on there, to be quite honest, compared to some jobs I've been on. So yeah, pretty, you know, really close to home. Plenty of work to go out, which I've got one. There's one I'm taking over at floor, which I don't mind because it's a fresh lift price for that, and it's the band lift, so it's the easier lift than I think the band lift's the easier lift than your first lift. Your first lift, where you've got to put your damp trays in, you've got to put your internal walls in, you've got all your door formers to put in and everything like that. I find that the most awkward lift, because there's doorways, and I just find, because there's a lot more pillars of piers I find in them. But I'd say the band lift, which I'm on now, which is you just setting your windows out, and that's it because if you'd have there's no heads on this side, it's just top of windows, lintel on, done. You know, I find that the more simple lift. I find I don't ever have any problem setting windows out. They all work bricks as well, apart from your little windows. I think I had to work one 1/2 3/4. That's standard on most housing now, and the architect don't make them work bricks. But yeah, it's, you know, a little expansion in middle at house, dead easy. I'm gonna all the windows are in check as well, so I do prefer window formers that are in check. I'm not a big fan of these window formers where you can't, which, you know, you have to sort of put the brick behind the former. The reason why I like the formers in check is so you don't have to keep plumbing your former. You can just set your window out about 4 course. I got 300, set my window out 300, plumb it each side, and then I only put the former in when I go on the block work. So I've done this for years and years when I've been on houses. Luckily, I spent most of my time building houses with the formers that make sure your windows are in check. You can't mess your windows up this way. You know, you're always going to the drawing measurement, and you know, you have a bit of play to slide them in and out. If you don't have a particular former, no worries, you can still build the house. Whereas if the formers aren't in check and you've got to have the former in to put, you know, the bricks go behind the former, you know, you're screwed. If you haven't got the former, you can't build it basically, unless they're gonna, you know, use a different style of former. But yeah, I do prefer those style, and you can get profile. I've got a profile set up for window formers that are in check. That I like doing. It's something I probably don't use on this lift because I've only got 9 course at my windows, so, you know, I don't know whether I'll put a profile on for 9 course. I could do 3, because by the time I've done 3 course, I've only got 5 more, and then I'm only using profile for 5 course. So I probably will do, because the bricks do tend to move. Another good thing about these concrete bricks, if you've ever laid them before, they don't go off. They're an ideal summer brick, but winter brick, they're one of them things you've got to joint the day after. It's obviously, you know, we've been given brick jackets, so that's good. I do prefer those sort of bricks that don't go off quick. Obviously, me being a one-on-one, you know, especially if the next log carrier can't joint up very effectively, even if it can only do perps, it's one of them where it won't matter. They're quite easy to joint up as well, those sort of bricks. Really quick to joint up, I find, whereas the ones that go really dry, it's a big task pointing. So definitely have the upside there. You just have to make sure your gobbo is quite stiff, or your mortar's quite stiff. We got ready mix, it came pretty pissy. We literally shoved 4 Celcom blocks in it, and and the Durox fucking super white ones. 4 Salcon blocks in it. Basically went for snap, came back, pulled them out. It was perfect to work with. Needed a little bit of mixing around for about 5 minutes, but perfect to work with then. No risk of sinkage. Perfect pick and dip gear as well. You know, it's not something, you know, you can, because the gobbo ain't going to go off on these bricks, you can lay a long spread, you can lay, you know, pick and dip for one brick. I prefer because the bricks are heavy, I just prefer just doing one trowel, one brick, you know, just doing pick and dip like that. They are quite easy to lay like that. Obviously, because I took over on this band lift, I've been reaching off of a hop up. I've took it. It was already up to 1275. So 1275 less than 300. So they'd already gone about, you know, a metre from the floor, and then basically then they just jacked. So I'm already a metre up when I started. So then you can imagine I've just got all the reaching courses, because I'm like 1.7 metres high or something like that. That's what I am. You know, 5'8", 5'9" maybe. Depends on how many inner soles I've got inside my boots. So you can imagine that's, you know, how much reaching I've been doing. So to get 10 course on 1 metre, you know, it's a lot of brickwork. So I was reaching above my head easily. It was above my head height. So, but yeah, that's been my first day and a half, should I call it. I'm glad I had today off because I had to go to the vet. So obviously today I haven't been able to get any footage. So tomorrow I'm going to put the GoPro on some bricks. The action cam on some bricks. They might do a bit of headcam footage when the gaffers have gone. They don't bother me on this site, you know. They've only been up to plot once. That was just yesterday when I were working. You know, they're not kicking you off site. They're not funny about you working late, because I worked till about 5:30 one night, just because my missus was waiting for Asda order, and she had the car because it's that close to my house. We can just car share to it, because we only got one car at the moment, and we're waiting to get her another car, and basically we can car share. It's that close. So she drops me off with all my gear. I'm up on the scaffold, and I'm right next to the road anyway. So it's second house that has a roof on it, this one I'm building. So, and it's one of the biggest ones on the site. So it is probably a little bit big for a one-on-one, but still dead easy. And I'll make short work of it in the next. I reckon I've got, you know, a day to get the gable up and most of the back, because I've got to take some of their block work down, because they got the block work to run out as well. So I've got that to do, and then I reckon I've got a day for the front and half of the back, so that'll get me to probably Monday dinner, and then start the block work Monday dinner. Tuesday, probably end of Tuesday I might have it round, because they did have a goal for Tuesday, but they said Wednesday's sort of the buffer. So I think it'll take me till Wednesday, I reckon, depending on weather and stuff, and if I get what time I get going, because I've been getting there a bit later. But if I start getting my mortar dropped because the tubs aren't very big, so I'll probably easily use a tub a day to start with, because on these concrete bricks they only have a couple of little holes in, so you don't use as much mortar. So, you know, a full tub of ready mix on, if I'm only laying about 400 bricks in a day, on pillars and stuff like that, you know, that's what I've been doing. I've probably laid about 400 bricks every day, probably 350 to start with. I'm just going a little bit steadier, you know, not quite doing my day work rate, but just a little bit steadier. I'm taking extra time over stuff, but you know, you'll see. I'll start picking pace up a bit tomorrow. I've had a day off. I'm rested. I'll proper fly this gable up tomorrow on GoPro, on action cam, so you can see how that goes. So yeah, so that's it for the new job, you know. If you want to start with me, the links are in the description. Check out the it's £100 a day I'm paying on the odd carrier. No experience is required. Obviously, if you are an experienced odd carrier and you're some sort of super duper odd carrier, you're probably not needing a job. So it's normally inexperienced people wanting to work with me, but I think £100 a day is fair for any starter and whoever wants to get on trial as well. You know, I'm I'm not dropping your money if I'm teaching you. You know what I mean? It's still a set rate no matter what you're doing. So you've got opportunity to learn as well. Probably, you know, probably a bit generous to be quite honest, but you know, I've had no problem. I had no problem with Jamie. I made good money when he worked with me. It's, you know, I don't mind paying someone who's going to graft and is going to actually do what I want them to do. I don't need mountains out here. I'm not grease lightning. I'm not laying 1,000 bricks a day. You know, if I can get to a point where you're allowing me to lay 600-700 bricks in a day and I'm not having to move a bucket of gobbo or move any bricks, that's good enough for me. You know, so yeah. Anyway, guys, that's the video. I can't wait to get some footage on the new job, to be honest, because I've quite enjoyed it, Different atmosphere, more relaxed, you know, from where I've been working, no one points the block work and stuff like that. That's nice to see. To be fair, I like pointing my block work at the back. I don't mind flushing it up, but sometimes I find it easier just to use the barrel jointer, because, to be quite honest, because it obviously has cavity trays and it has 125mm cavities, I'm one of these people, when they go to flush the block work, the gobbo drops off the trowel and goes in trays. So that's the only reason I don't flush my block work up with a pointing trowel and gobbo. It's because I always drop gobbo down cavity. So that's the only reason why I stroke a joint of them. And sometimes I like to use my glove. I use my glove to joint back at block work. It's great. You put me loading out glove on and just stroke it down with your finger. You can't beat it. It's better than smearing your back of your block up, you know what I mean? So that's what I was doing on footings. I was using my glove to point them. That is because they want both sides pointing. I said, fuck pointing both sides. And I started using my glove. So it gives the illusion of it being pointed, but it's obviously a gloved off finish. So, but yeah, very promising. I should have this next plot done by Wednesday. So probably Wednesday next week you'll be seeing a fresh start, or probably me taking one over from floor. But the one that I'm taking over from floor is square. It's square and it's a different type of brick, so that might be a bit easier. I'll have to see. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the content, give us a like, subscribe, hit notification bell. I'm going to try to keep bringing out bi-daily episodes, vlogs. It's just challenging at the moment because obviously with new job, you know, lads jacking up, I'm having to sit fucking sifting for applications on a night and following up leads for oddies and stuff, so that's taking a bit of time. But once I get settled with someone else, or we might have this lad who's already on site, you know, if I get this improver on board, they don't want fucking mountains, you know, we'll see if he's worth the hassle, because I just don't fancy stress of having to keep on top of someone, to be quite honest. Odd carry is easy enough because you're teaching them everything, whereas someone who thinks they know it already, they don't want to know, they don't want to learn, do you know what I mean? So it is hard. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Close till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. rays, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on. Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. How'd I end up alone? I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Ain't got no place to call my own. Feels like I'm better off alone. So sad inside and hopeless. These Hollywood hoes never notice. Can't get back on. You're gone, girl, I miss you. Can't get back on. You're gone, girl, I miss you. Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. How'd I end up alone? I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. How'd I end up alone? I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. How'd I end up alone? I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you're Hollywood perfect.
I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body in Harvard above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body in Harvard above me. My best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend. my bed.